All right. And then the Colburn Bible.
The Colburn Bible is a very interesting collection of texts that come from both the Egyptians, the priests, and also the Celtic Druid hierarchy. And supposedly, the story behind it is that Joseph of Arimathea carried it from Jerusalem to England, and it was kept in an abbey there, Glastonbury Abbey, until the time of Longshanks, 16th century, when he burned the abbey down in search of this particular text. And one of the priests was able to escape with the text and split it among some secretive families, and these families have been keeping it for the longest time. And then my friend Marshall Masters, he was the one that was actually able to find a copy of this text and decided to make it available, and then in the process of doing the editing and producing, created kind of like a codex in which they broke up the different books and gave them a numbering system so that people could understand better what they were reading. But it's as thick, if not thicker, than the entire collection of the Old Testament, New Testament, the Bible together, and it goes all the way back to when even before the first world age was destroyed. And the Bible also talks about that in Jeremiah chapter 4, and also 2 Peter, about the first world age being destroyed, and that was a lot of the cities of the fallen angels, and then it covers, goes into Adam and Eve and modern humanity and the creation of it, and then comes all the way down to the Druidic priesthood, and it's an amazing compilation of wisdom texts. There's so much information there. I've been reading it for over 3 years now, and this too was just recently released. It's not been out but maybe 3 or 4 years, and I got it when it first came out. But I still have not finished reading all of the teachings that are available there.
Now, we've only got 2 minutes left in this segment, Zen, and I'm just curious, out of all the study that you did and all these different versions and all these different scriptures, did your BS meter ever go off on any of these? Did you think, wow, this just is too fantastical, this stuff just seems so stretched from reality that there's just no way this can be true?
Yes, and I would say that with a lot of different things. And it goes off every once in a while, and you really have to use discernment when you're reading anything. And that includes the newspaper. It doesn't matter. You really have to use discernment with any information that you're taking in through any part of your senses. And so, but I found an underlying truth that, like I said, became a skeleton key to unlock a lot of what I consider the jigsaw of truth behind all these different things.
Now, if you're new to Darkness Radio, we're your home for the best in paranormal talk radio, Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. till midnight. We do have a live chat room. We invite you to come join. You can do that by going to darknessradio.com. On the left side of the screen, you'll see tags there. You can click on the live chat link. Come on in, join it. It's fun, free, and you got a lot of great people in there that are just like you, intrigued by all aspects of the paranormal. Plus, you can question the guests. You can put private questions and contact me or Mally through that website as well. So please check that out. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with more Zen Garcia. We're going to talk to him a little bit more about the story of Cain possibly being the spawn of Lucifer, not Adam, as once was thought in the Bible, and we'll cover that and more when we come back from this. And we do have links to Zen's book. If you go to darknessradio.com, click on the upcoming show link, you'll find all the information about tonight's shows and all the rest of the shows that aired this week, with links to all of our guests and how you can order their books. We'll be back with more. Stay tuned. You're listening to the best in paranormal talk radio. I'm Dave Schrader from Mally Fox. We'll be back with more Darkness Radio on 100.3 K-Talk. Good evening. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Dave Schrader. This is Darkness Radio, your home for the best in paranormal talk radio, Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. till midnight, and apparently the home for Coffee, Sneezy, and Dopey Also known as Mally
sorry.
Fox. How are you, Mal?
I took a deep breath and all of a sudden I swallowed on my own.
We don't allow that. You know that.
I know,
on the
I
show,
should
there's
breathe.
no more deep breaths. Are you going to be okay? Do you need me to turn off your microphone?
Yes, please.
Okay. You've been officially cut off. We are your home for the best at Paranormal Talk Radio, and you can check us out every Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. till midnight. Again, join us in our live chat room. Our guest, Zen Garcia, is in the live chat room right now as well. You can go on in and be a part of it. If you have any direct questions for him in the chat room, feel free to kick him out, and he'll answer those for you as the evening progresses and the show continues on. If you have guest ideas, people that you'd like to hear on Darkness Radio, we'd love to hear from you. We're here to educate, enlighten, and entertain you 5 nights a week. And you can email me at dave@darknessradio.com. Let me know who you think would be a great guest. If you have contact information, website information, emails to get in touch with that person, that makes our job a lot better. And we get a lot of fantastic guests because of listeners like you. So, again, you can reach out to me at dave@darknessradio.com and let me know who you'd like to hear on the show. Give us feedback about the show, and I'd love to hear more from you. And if you'd like to reach out to Mally Fox, it's mallyfox@gmail.com. Again, mallyfox@gmail.com. Tell her what a great job she's doing on the radio. Tell her how you don't want her coughing in your microphone anymore. Whatever you want to tell her, let Mally Fox know. We're going to go back to our guest. Zen Garcia is the guest this evening. He has a brand new book out, and the book is entitled Lucifer, Father of Cain. And through his research, he has gone through many different sources of extra-biblical scripture to formulate an interesting hypothesis and story about the fact that Cain might have been the love child of Lucifer and Eve, not Adam and Eve, as we once thought from the Bible, and that the parable in the garden was symbolic for an act of sexual lust and not just from the fruit of the tree. So let's go back to Zen. Zen, can you start to explain to us, when did you start to piece this story together? And put it together that you thought that there was more to this, and what scriptures can you kind of point us to in all these different extra biblical texts that could start to back up your claims?
Sure, I'd be honored to share some of those. But like I said, I was new to all the different scriptures. I hadn't studied them as a child. In my teenage years, I first went into all the reading the Zechariah Sitchin, all the Sumerian texts, all the New Age books, and all of that. And then when I went into Scripture, it was fresh. It was all new to me. I had never read it before. I didn't get taught it in Sunday school, and so I was seeing it for the first time. And I kept running across this theme. It kept saying that Cain was not a child of Adam's, and kept saying things like he was the son of Samuel, and the son of Lucifer and Satan, and so I was like, why are people thinking that he's the son of Adam when it's clearly, to me, saying that he's not? And so in speaking with people over the course of the years, because at first I didn't mention it to anybody, but then I did find some individuals that I could share it with, and my friend Dr. Joy Jeffries Pugh became the first person that gave me confirmation that I was on the right track, and she's a PhD and a professor and all that. And so,
right, we've had her on the show, sure.
Yeah, and so I felt like I was, then I felt like I was, had good discernment, and so I started sharing it with people and started my own radio show and all that, and started putting together all this information into a book. And over the course of putting it into a book and compiling all the massive amounts of evidence from all the various sources, because like you said, in my book I have 295 different quotes from many different texts, books most people have never heard about, that all confirm this particular theory. And one of the texts or one of the scriptures that people always go to tell me that this is not true is they always say that the King James Version, Genesis chapter 4:1, where it says, "And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord." They say that proves right there that Cain was a child of Adam's and Eve's, and that there's nothing else that can disqualify that. But then I tell them that if you go back and you study what are called the Targums, which are from their different language translations from the time of right after Christ, when the books were available in different languages. And one of those languages it was written in was Aramaic, and Genesis chapter 4:1 in the Aramaic Targum says this, "And Adam knew his wife Eve, who was pregnant by Samuel, who is Satan, and she conceived and bare Cain, and he was like the heavenly beings, and not like the earthly beings. And she said, I have gotten a man from the angel of the Lord."